And this is the video for the August 10th IELTS exam prediction. Let's get started. So starting with speaking first, there's 10 cue cards, actually 9, just as usual. So the first one that I'm going to start with is describe a happy memory for your childhood. Now this is something that's been asked quite often. So, work on this cue card, get your answer right, and practice on telling a story. Here you have to talk about a happy memory. Well, why were you happy, right? And what happened that led you to feel that way? Talk about that. And of course, talk about all the people who were involved in it. It could be your parents, right? Or it could be your friends, or it could be maybe your teacher. It could be anyone, really. So talk about them, what part they played in this. So that's a good thing to add in your story. Second cue card that I would focus on is describe a crowded place that you have visited. This is being asked quite often as well. So again, work on here. With crowded place comes a lot of hustle bustle, comes a lot of excitement. So you could talk about that. Or on the other end, you could always describe the frustration that you might have felt. For me, at least, if I was at crowded places, I get frustrated. So, for me, that's usually frustration that I would talk about. So that's something you're going to focus on there. Now, third cue card is describe a festival that is important in your country. Yeah, so, could be any festival. Maybe, work with Diwali because that's an important one for people in India. If you're from a different country, talk about a festival that's, more important to you. Here, you could talk about why it's important. Also, talk about why it's important to you because, you want to talk about personal memories, anecdotes, share, just any of the personal experiences that you've been through. So, something to focus there. Now, fourth cue card, describe a character from a movie. Now, this could be really anything. Maybe your favorite movie is the X-Men, so pick a character from that one, okay? Or maybe, you like Terminator, so talk about a character from that movie. So really could be anything. Talk about why you like them, when you watch the movie, with whom you watch the movie, why does it matter? Talk about the crux of the things that way, right? It helps build an answer. Now, number 5, describe a piece of technology you own that you feel is difficult to use. Again, this one is being asked quite often again, so focus on that. For me, it's my stupid phone. I find it hard to use sometimes because there's just so much in there. I get lost. For you, it could be something else. For you, it could be maybe ChatGPT or could be really anything. So, focus on a piece of tech. Now, number 6, describe a piece of good news that you heard from others. This one, again, I'm bringing this up because, it's been asked a few times. Focus on it, work on that. So, good news. So, with good news comes happy memories, comes people who told you those memories, and news, and who the news was about. Create a story based off of that. And number 7, describe a time you had a disagreement with someone. Now here, this is an interesting one. So when talking about disagreements, talk about frustrations, talk about why that happened and what led to the disagreement. And of course, also hit on what happened afterwards, right? So if, there was a disagreement, did you resolve it? Did you come to a certain solution or not? Hit that. Number 8, describe a popular person. Now this one is pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Of course, you can work on, maybe it could be a popular person from your school, or it could be a movie actor that you like, or it could be a singer, or it could be really anyone that you find popular. It could be a sports star as well. So really work on it, right? Find your answer that way. And number 9, describe your first day at school. Again, being asked quite often, so focus on that. Could be your first day of elementary school, could be first day of your high school, could be first year of your college, university, really, could be anything really. So describe the first day. So, there you go. 9 different cue cards, work on those, and this will help you out with your speaking. Now, moving on to writing task 2. Here, just a moment. All right. So, task 2, question 1. People in senior positions should be compensated with significantly higher salaries than people in lower positions in the same company. Do you agree or disagree? Give reasons for your answer. Include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So there you go. You gotta do about 4 different things, right? So you gotta focus on agreeing or disagreeing. You gotta think about what are the pros and cons of, actually agreeing with it or disagreeing with it. And you got to give your reasons too, right? And your personal knowledge. So focus on attempting all these 4 things in the question, in the answer that you write, okay? Number 2, some people think that the water is the most important natural resource, while others believe that other resources such as oil and gold are more important. Discuss both views, give your opinion. So here you gotta do 2 things. You gotta discuss both the views and you gotta give your opinion. So again, here you can talk about advantages and disadvantages, or what's happening in the industry right now, or what's the latest trend really. So it could be any angle that you want to pick on and work that way. Make sure you hit 250 words and more. Anything less than that, you lose points. Do not let that happen to yourself. Now, number 3. Some people say that no one should work after the age of 65. Others say that anyone should be able to continue working for as long as they wish. Discuss both views, give your opinion. Again, you gotta do a couple of things here, right? You gotta discuss both the views and you gotta give your opinion. Here, focus on, your coherence and cohesion, focus on how you lay out the answer, and of course, using vocabulary that is, topic specific. It'll help you out. Number 4. It is a natural process that animal species such as dinosaurs become extinct. There is no reason for people to prevent this from happening. To what extent do you agree or disagree? This is a very straightforward one, right? Like, do you agree or do you not? And then you have to, justify your reasoning behind your answer. So do hit on those points, and position the essay in such a way that it's clear to understand. And finally, number 5, some people encourage watching sports as a way of learning about teamwork and strategy, while others believe that one can learn these skills only through playing sports. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Simple, straightforward again. Okay, so you've been given 2 different sides that you gotta work on and focus on. So talk about both the sides, lay them out, what the pros are and the cons are of both the sides, or what the key points are. Then do an analysis on that and come to basically your own observations. Okay, once that is done, conclude the essay. So make sure you have your introduction, you have BP1, BP2, and then a conclusion. That is important that your essay is laid out as such. 250 words minimum, and avoid any repetition of words. Do not let that happen, right? So because you lose points. Focus on vocabulary. That'll help you out there, right? So some things to kind of work on as you kind of go towards this. Now, working on reading. So difficulty is going to be easy. So, don't stress out too much. There will be multiple choice questions, could be true, false, not given, and match the headings. So focus on these in your prep before the exam. Also, look at summary completion type, short answer type, and sentence completion. These are 6 different types of questions that you got to focus on before you're going to go into this one, right? Again, with all these different, question types, different skills are needed. So learn those, focus on those, and brush up on that technique. I'm pretty sure you've done that by now, so I don't have to repeat myself on that. And just to kind of quickly go at it, these 4 things that you can definitely implement for your reading is time management. Man, I'm telling you, it's important. So decide how you want to answer. How do you want to solve this paper? Do you want to go passage 1, then go to passage 2, then go to passage 3? That could be one way of doing it, because some people are more comfortable that way. Or you could start with 3rd passage first, then focus on 2nd, and then focus on 1st. That's another way of doing it. Or what you could also do is find the question type that you find the hardest. So maybe it could be true, false, not given, and it's in the second passage. So start with the 2nd first, then jump on to 3rd, and then jump on to 1st. So really depends how you want to play this game, right? So have a game plan and stick with it. Number 2, skimming, scanning, and keyword selection. So basically any of these question types, you will be focusing on skimming, scanning, and keyword selection. If your keywords are not good, forget it, you're screwed. Have your keyword selection done well. You gotta pick the words that make sense. Nouns, pronouns, proper nouns, numbers, name of places, organizations, etc. And when you find that information, read it carefully, because when you're skimming and scanning, you want to do that just to find the general area where the answer is. And once you find it, you have to do careful reading so that you can compare the information. Finally, it's marking. Once you start looking for your keywords, underline them, circle them, put a pointer on them, whatever works for you, but make sure you do one of these things, because that way, at least when you come back to it, you know where the information is, where the answer is, right? There you go. So that's the prediction for, the exam that's upcoming on the 10th. So hey, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll make sure to kind of help you out with those. And of course, if you have friends who are struggling with stuff, share it with them. They'll find this useful. And of course, there's a lot more information like this coming up. So, make sure to subscribe. Good luck with your exam. I'll see you in the next one.